Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coach's Corner. I'm Brady Phelps. I'm joined by Pranav, Bhookya, and head boys basketball coach Dave Witzig, and head girls basketball coach Dave Feeney. Coach Witzig, we'll start off with you. I completed the three-peat of Intercity, averaged 75 points a game and scoring 80 points for the first time in nearly half a decade. What has made this offense so prolific so far?
We shoot a lot. We're going fast. Shot clock. Last time I talked to you guys, we talked about how this year we're going to try to have a faster pace, and our guys definitely did that. Like last night, I think in the Bloomington game, I think we went the first 3 minutes without scoring. We were 0 for 6, and we still ended up scoring 79 points. It took 3 minutes off the clock without a bucket. So we're definitely going faster. We're playing the pace we want to play. Our defense needs to get better because we're scoring fast, but we're going to have buckets fast too. But this is the kind of pace we were hoping to play with.
Coach Feeney, on to you. The Iron beat Bloomington in an overtime thriller, winning by just 1 point. What are some of the benefits of having a kind of down-the-wire game this early in the season?
Hopefully it's a indicator of like when we're in those battles together, that you can look each other in the eye and know that you've done it before. We had some kids that really stepped up. I thought our bench had great energy throughout. I thought that Coach Witzig's daughter had 6 threes that night. That always helps. We shot the ball with a lot of confidence that night. And it was, as you said, it was a back and forth game. So it's always great when you can learn some lessons and also get a win. And I thought that was like the perfect night for that. That's why Intercity is such a great kind of event. You get thrown right into the fire and have some of those moments. But I thought it was huge that our kids were able to pull out, that close game.
We saw Trey Birditt score 30 points in back-to-back games. What does it provide for an offense when you've got to can facilitate the offense and also explode for 30 any night?
I'm not sure in my 27 years here we've ever had a back-to-back 30 night. I really don't think so. We've had some great scorers, but I don't think we've ever had a back-to-back like that. And then he followed up last time. I think he had 21 and Chase Caston had 27. So because of our pace and we're going faster, we're going to have some nights like that from guys. And Trey started off super hot in those games. He took great shots. He got a lot of layups. He got open threes. There's going to be games where Trey maybe has 8 points and 10 assists. But Intercity, he was the one that was open, and he was the one knocking him down. And he was on fire a couple of those games. And so that really, he's a senior. He's been there before, and it kind of showed. He was if there was an MVP award, he would have been the MVP of the tournament.
Coach Feeney, the Iron are currently 1-4, but earlier in the interview, you said that you view, the beginning of the season, glorified practice, kind of a term that has your name on it.
Yeah.
What have you learned about, your team within the last 5 games?
Well, we've got to get better. I mean, that's one thing that we've learned. Coaches, we have to do better too, putting our kids in spots where they can be confident and successful. I also think we have to get a little bit tougher. We knew coming in, we're not as athletic as we have been in the past 5 years. We've been very blessed with some incredible athletes in the last half a decade. But we do have great kids that care a lot and that want to work together. So we have to find ways to help them be as successful as they can. We got to get better at rebounding, a little bit of physicality. We're not going to all of a sudden become the most physical team because that's not who we have. But if we can just move the needle a little bit and find ways to be a little bit more physical and find ways to use our what athleticism we have, and then to be confident in it. Right now, when that ball comes off the rim, I think we have some kids that are watching and are kind of waiting for another kid to go get it. And we have to realize, like, hey, you've actually done the work to put yourself in a position to go get it. You got to trust yourself that you're capable of doing that. Some of that is done through habits of, getting back to practice. Some of it's done by watching film and trying to help kids be aware. But a lot of it's done just even mentally trying to get them to see themselves how we see them. It's tough when you get beat and when you're off to a 1-4 start. Sometimes to keep that belief, and I think we have tough-minded kids who will do that.
Thinking back to the first game in Intercity, the first game of the year, when you trailed West by 8 in the second quarter, what was the message to your team, and what did you learn about them and their response?
Yeah, that was, first game is always unique too, because, no one knows how the rotation is going to go, and we're trying to figure out who's going to do what. And what I really liked about that game, down 2012, like you said, we had a nice little 8-0 run in the half. nobody panicked. Nobody pouted or was upset about anything. People just kind of stuck together, and then we had a great run after that. I think we outscored them with something like 47-11 or something after that point.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and we had an unbelievable run. But I think with the shot clock too, there's also a feeling of ease too when you're down early. Because I know if I get up 8, sometimes without a shot clock, you start thinking about being really patient and milking the clock a little bit. But with a shot clock, there's going to be multiple possessions. Coach Freiberg said that our usual possessions in a game are about 55 in the past. And in the first couple games, it was around 70. So the shot clock and our pace, we're getting about 15 more possessions a game than we have been. And so that's what's going to happen, I think, with the new shot clock area. We're going to see some higher scores and more up and down.
Coach, you've got a whole new rotation this year. Can you talk about some of the players that have been making their presence known on the court?
Yeah. I think it starts with Haley Michaels and Zoe Wilde. Them kind of learning. You talked about new roles, like Haley starting for us at the end of last year, but was never asked to run as much as what she is running. She was always kind of a role player, a sidekick, if you will, that just caught the ball, took the open shot. Now we're asking her to help create a lot more open shots for other people as well. And so I think she's trying to acclimate to that, but doing a really good job. Zoe can be a spark plug to her team, and she's learning how to control some of that. I thought last night, for example, in the first half, I told her at halftime, I thought that was her best half of basketball that she's played. She created a lot of shots for others. And that's the thing is right now, I think there's so many of our kids who are trying so hard to fill their role that we're also forgetting about making the person next to us better. We don't have selfish kids. We have really, really good kids. But we also have kids that I'm fighting to keep my own head above water, and therefore I can't worry about being supportive of you because I'm fighting so hard to do what I'm supposed to do or worried about what I'm supposed to do. But again, I would start with those two. Our juniors are showing glimpses. Lily Witzig, Sophia Mack, Taylor Williams are showing glimpses each night, getting better and better. Our sophomores, Annie Oliver, Jocelyn Schilb are doing a really good job of battling on the boards. And again, showing we're all showing glimpses of what we can be. And our job as coaches is to take those glimpses and hopefully turn them into longer moments.
You set a program goal of holding teams to below 50 on a game-to-game basis. That's hard to do with a shot clock, but with a couple scores in the 60s, what needs improvement defensively?
Yeah, I think the 50-point standard is going to be kind of out the window now with the new shot clock era. But that was a great standard for us, and through the years, we won a lot of games by keeping teams under 50. And I think halftime last night was 50-31 or something like that, 50-33. And I turned to one of the guys and said that that's been final scores for our program, and it was halftime. But defensively, we press a lot, and we just had some hard times. Actually just some basic things like who you're guarding and what your responsibilities are. And then once you got to half court, lost track of their guys. And we know Intercity teams are going to take advantage of that. They have some good shooters, and Bloomington took advantage of some of our mistakes last night. So I think we really have to focus in on our individual responsibilities on our man-to-man defense. And those of you who hear about man-to-man defense means you have to help everybody all the time. You're not just guarding your man like some people think they are. And so we have some guys who are stuck to their guy too much or just flat out forgetting their guarding. So those things have to stop, because it's fun to score 79 points, but we know there's going to be games, especially in March, when the shot clock's off, that you're going to have to get stops on the half court to win big games. And so we have to get better at that.
Coach Feeney, Haley Michaels and Lily Witzig have been keying early. I mean, Lily Witzig had the 6 threes the other night. What are some other roles that you need around them to stabilize scoring and put yourself in a position to win?
Well, I remember the last time we were talking, I talked about we have a team of specialists, right? And some specialists that we need to find. We need to find some kids that really take pride in defending, and we got some kids that really take pride in rebounding. And so, one great thing is that Haley, we've asked her to guard the other team's best player at times, and also, like I said earlier, to be a creator, on offense for others and for herself. But if we can find those other pieces, and again, it's a team thing. It's not just one kid that needs to be, that stopper or that the man that could alleviate a lot if an Annie Oliver, Jocelyn Schilb, if they can just kind of own the boards. Last year, Marco, Reyna, a lot of our rebounds left when they graduated. And those were two kids. Other kids did their job, but those two kids just, they kind of took it. When the other team got a board, they took it personally. And so if we can find some of that, that's going to help us as a team. But again, and the kids you mentioned, they know, Lily and Haley know there's a lot of things they have to do better. We're turning the ball over kind of a ridiculous amount, even against teams that maybe don't pressure. We're kind of creating our own pressure. So some of those things we can just help ourselves by maybe stop shooting ourselves in the foot so much, and then we'll have a little bit larger room for error, in some of those other areas.
Correct.
We've seen a few new faces be staples on the rotation. What can you say about those guys making their varsity debuts?
Coach Feeney was talking about rebound and stuff. I thought, Carter Harris did a great job. So Carter Harris set the bench last year. He's 6'4", 6'5", and he's a great right fielder on our state baseball team. So he's a winner. But he has taken the role of getting rebounds and doing dirty work. He guards the other team's biggest guy. He boxes out. He runs the floor. He does a great job putting his hands straight up and then trying to get a rebound. So Carter is one of those guys that has really taken to his role. And then Daniel Sykes comes in for Carter. And Daniel was awesome, too. In fact, Daniel had the first dunk of the year for the Ironman last year. So, or this year, we had 40 dunks last year. The year before that was 130. So we're trending downward on our dunkometer. But we do have a dunk on the dunkometer now, and Daniel Sykes is the winner of the first dunk of the year. So, but he had 15 points last night. And if you think, well, how did he get 15? Offensive rebounds and spraying the floor when we got a rebound, and he got uncontested layups. So those are two guys that have really embraced They're kind of not very glamorous role, but that has to be done to win. So they did a great job with that, and really happy for those two guys.
Coach Feeney, there presumably are some challenges that come to having a senior, junior, and sophomore roster, but having just so many kids. How do you go about building team chemistry to kind of prevent these challenges from occurring?
Yeah, well, I think one thing I thought coming in is I really thought that we were going to be a really close-knit group. I still think we will be, but it has surprised me a little bit that we're not a little tighter right from the beginning, just because I think we have really good kids. But it's also a great reminder that it doesn't just happen. You have to build that each year. I think a lot of it goes to what I said earlier, that we're each trying so hard to keep our own head above water that sometimes we're not as, connected on the court at times as I would like us to be. It also is tough because now that we started games and with the weather, we haven't gotten to practice. So we need some of that practice time to get back in and solidify some of that, and also remind us of some of those things. One thing that our culture in our program has kind of stood for is that connection that you're talking about and being a tight-knit group. And so I'm very confident that we'll get there. But I think that's perceptive of you. We're not there yet. And we need to be.
I think to add on to that too is at Normal Community, we have to build this. They're coming from different junior highs, and then different grade levels, and so that our guys didn't grow up playing. You play a team like a Morton, some of those schools that direction, or even some summer schools. They've grown up playing together for a long time, and we have to build on the fly a group of a team, because you can only win big games as being a team too. So it takes some work. It's not automatic like some schools have it because of the way the junior high system works and things like that.
For both of you, what would you say are those things that you do to build that team chemistry? Maybe not on the court, but maybe off the court.
Now, we read a book. We're reading a book called Legacy about the All Blacks rugby team. That's really good. So we do things like that. And one little thing in practice every day, I put them in different pairs. So I kind of keep a document so they're always with a different partner. So maybe they're just starting to build something by a little 5-minute warm-up with a different person each day. That helps. And he does a great job of that, and he can tell you what he does. But we spend time, in the classroom talking about things, or going over film and meeting in groups and doing stuff like that to try to build a team, because, like I said, it's not easy. And then when it comes down to a really tight moment, that's when it really shows if you're together or not.
I think some of it is the shared success and shared suffering that when you go through tough moments, you remind everybody that we're in this together. When you go through great moments, Lily Witzig hitting the game-winning 3 against Bloomington, when we show that film, when we show the pass, and we show the shot, we show the screen that AJ Oliver said.
It was great.
You realize you show the bench getting excited, like you celebrate all those things because those are all important. We do celebrations every day at practice where the kids literally celebrate each other and point things out that they appreciate about each other. Something that they did in a drill, something just to consistently be looking for other people and celebrating them. And then also off the floor, or about once a week, we have a program practice. We have sisterhoods where we set up kind of seniors through freshmen. So kids are interacting, reminding us that we're one program, secret of basketball is not about basketball. And you asked the question earlier about building that unity. The secret of basketball not being about basketball works both ways. It's not just the chemistry. It's also like you can see it on the court and it affects your basketball. When Coach Witzig says, hey, in those tight moments, you can feel it as a coach when your team is truly, connected and everybody's all in. Doesn't mean you're always going to win. But it just means, man, I can feel this. We're coming out as a united group. And so part of that's the goal. And you do that by some of those intangible things. It's not all just in practice. And then the big thing is also showing kids that you care about them, outside of it. So one great thing I love about coaching here where I teach is seeing kids in the hallway, interacting with them in class, showing them that we care about them outside the lines of the court.
And yeah, I just want to say too about, because we mentioned Lily hitting a 3, which was a lot of fun to watch, but Annie Oliver set a screen, and it was an overtime, out of timeouts, on the fly.
Yep.
So her recognition of what was happening was
Off the charts.
Yep. Yeah, off the charts, because you couldn't tell her to do that.
Right.
Because it just had to happen. And so those are things you can build on when you have people that are thinking about what needs to be done to help win. So
Part of what was so fun about celebrating that too is that the next day in the film, when I said, I didn't even realize in the moment that Andy did it. And Lily was the first one to say, I didn't either. And then I watched that clip.
Yeah.
I saw Andy setting that screen. And that's the thing. Sometimes you don't notice things in the heat of the moment. But when you have a team that is connected, they take pride in those things, whether they're noticed or not.
Annie has an awesome Walter Payton jersey she wears.
She does.
After the Bears win, it's awesome. So yeah, I have a Walter Payton jersey too. We're twins. It's awesome. Yeah.
Coach Witzig, taking a look at the Big 12, riding a 22-game win streak. What's the key to success in defending that back-to-back championship?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Peoria High is going to be tough. We play them the next 2 Fridays, December 12th and 19th. We have Peoria Central and Peoria High, Champaign Central and Peoria High. So they'll be tough games. Peoria Richards is going to be great this year. They have a point guard sophomore that's already been offered by U of I. And Peoria Manual's never picnic. So there's going to be a real challenge to do that again. I know they're getting sick of us too. We've run the conference the last 2, so we have a 22-game win streak, and so back-to-back years of undefeated, and people have mentioned that in the newspaper and stuff like that. So it's not easy. It's possible. It's only a 10-game season, and so we start with Friday night against Peoria Notre Dame. You can't take any nights off, and I would love to win the conference again because, like I said, it's starting to drive some of those schools crazy that are used to winning conference championships, and we've been winning it. In fact, I think we've won it 4 of the last 5.
Yep.
And then the middle one was Normal West. So the Unit 5 schools have won the Big 12 conference the last 5 years, which is unusual. Yeah, it's just unusual. So it's been fun to do that.
All right, Coach V, looking ahead, the Irons play Peoria Notre Dame this Friday. What's the most important thing that you're doing in practice to help prepare your players for this matchup?
I think defensively we just have to be aware of what Peoria Notre Dame wants to do. They've got a lot of offensive firepower, and we need to try to make them play left-handed, so to speak. We got to kind of pick. Okay, if you're going to score, this is how you're going to have to do it. We're not going to just let you do what it is that you do. If you let them do what they do, they're very talented offensively. They're really good. The thing about Peoria Notre Dame is they get some things that probably we got in the past that we're not getting as much this year, which is just kind of the easy, because they're athletic. They find a way to get an O board just because they have tall, lanky kids that can jump. So we've got to do the little things of making sure that we're boxing out, putting ourselves in the best position possible to limit those as much as we can. There's going to be moments where the ball, like last night, there was a couple times where we backs out really well, and that ball just caromed all the way out to a corner, and their kid got it. But again, there's a difference between those, and then when you don't box out, you just make it a jumping match. You're not always going to win those. So we got to make sure we do those little things really well. That's not just about this Friday. That's something we got to get better at as a whole. Pure Notre Dame's a really good team. They're always well coached. Their new coach was an assistant for their old coach. They do a lot of the same stuff, and they're going to be really, really tough at their place. But these are the moments that you also, you love because it tests your team, and you know that you're going to get better. And then every game after that, hopefully it's like, okay, well, we played against this team that moved the ball so quick and ran the floor so hard. Hopefully that just makes us better.
That's all we got. You guys have anything else you'd like to share?
Well, we appreciate you guys being at the games. And anytime you guys are at the games, I send the link out. I have family literally all over the country, and I have a brother who is in Malaysia, and they turn into the games. They watch you guys and listen to you guys and love to hear what you're saying, and it's an opportunity for them to watch our games. And now with Lily's games before, too, they get to watch their niece or cousin play, and so you guys are being watched by people around the country, and like I said, even in Malaysia. So we really appreciate you guys doing that.
Thank you.
I would also say that when I hear about Trey Birditt scoring 30-point in back-to-back games, we had back-to-back games where we didn't score that much. So, maybe, I need to talk to Coach Witzig about how we're creating some of these, moments.
You're faster, stronger is what we're doing.
But no, I echo what Coach Witzig said. Anytime you can shine a spotlight on what our high school kids are doing, and celebrate what they're doing. There's a lot of kids in the school doing a lot of great things. And we appreciate you guys showing a little light on us.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning into the Ink Spot. Catch our live broadcasts every Friday night doubleheader this season starting December 12th. For Coach's Corner, I'm Pranav Bhookya, and I'm with my co-host, Brady Phelps.